welcome to this information session on the Master of Economic and Business Analytics. Before we start with the slides, we'll do a first round of introduction. So I'm going to start with my colleague Gerald Bruckner, who is the Program Director of the Economic and Business Analytics Master Program.
Welcome to everybody. And I'm the joint master, so program manager, program director with Sophie together, of course.
Yes, together with myself, I'm also one of the program directors. Then we have Tanya Descharge, who is the program manager.
Hello, nice to meet you.
And then we have two student supporters who are currently in the final phase of the Economic and Business Analytics Master Program. That means they've started and almost finished their master thesis, and they will also be available for questions at the end of this short introduction. The first one is Franziska Pichler.
Hello, and feel free to ask anything you want to know.
And then we also have Martin Buchwimmer.
Hello.
Okay, so this is the EBA team today, and in the case you have questions, then just post the questions in the chat or just ask them, and depending on who can best answer the question, will then give you answers and hopefully allow to answer all questions that you may have. Okay, so let's start with an introduction of the two schools which are actually offering the program. This is the JKU Business School and the Kurt Rothschild School of Economics and Statistics. It is a joint program by the two schools. The business school is kind of the umbrella of all the management and business informatics studies and also researchers, where we try to bundle all our study programs and the researchers under a common name from the subject area of business and business informatics. And this program is offered jointly with the second school. And here Gerald Bruckner is the representative of the second school, and he's going to say a few words about the school.
So the Rothschild School is a collaboration between statistics and economics at the JKU. We have broad experience in empirical analysis. We have huge data sets that we work on. We are actually planning what we call the data lab LINS, where we collect data on individual behavior, and from the content side, we work on health, on labor markets, we do data science methodology, and which is very important in our school, the research is based on interdisciplinarity. And we are working in applied research. So the main pillar of the school is the Department of Economics, where I am a member of. And you will learn lots about our school and what we do in research during this master study.
Yes, and since the program is Economic and Business Analytics, the business school offers the part on the business side, and the economics department offers the part on the economic side. And in the end of the program, you will have an interdisciplinary education in analytics in both areas. And now we would like to show you a bit what you can do once you have completed your studies, or once you're at the end of your studies. You will have a very in-depth analytics background, and we are going to show you two projects where your skills would be necessary. The first project is called Analytics for Emission-Free Mid-Range Road Freight Transport. So my home institute is the Institute of Production and Logistics Management, and this project is located at my institute, and we are trying to evaluate what can be done in order to have mid-range transport. That means not in the city, but outside of cities, a bit further than just to the next village, but maybe in the area of Upper Austria. What would it mean to switch from conventionally fueled vehicles to zero-emission vehicles? And here we look at battery electric vehicles and hydrogen fuel cell electric vehicles. And we can see at the moment that hydrogen vehicles are still very expensive, but we will see in the future that maybe they will drop in prices, and then we will have a mix of these two vehicles in the best fleet composition. And actually, this is part of the master thesis project where Martin is working on. And we hope to have results that will give us recommendations or provide us with recommendations for the Upper Austrian region and the industry and our partners to show them what can be done and what would be a good start to change the vehicle fleet to zero emission vehicles. And the analytics part is, of course, the analysis and also the method development for providing the routing plans of these vehicles. Okay, and then we'll switch to the next project.
Another project from the economic side is on the COVID-19 pandemic. As I said before, we use comprehensive and excellent register data. In this particular case, from hospitals, from social insurance companies, and we can match these different data. And what we are interested in this project is what is the socioeconomic background of infections. So not only from the medical perspective, we look on this topic, but from the economic perspective, from the socioeconomics. So is it the case that different groups in the society have different probabilities to get these infections, and what are the social determinants, what are the economic determinants? And then we are also very much interested in what is called the collateral damage. So you may have heard about it. We study what the pandemic, whether the pandemic has an effect on non-COVID diseases, strokes, myocard infarction, for example, cancer diseases. Is there a change triggered by the pandemic on these kind of diseases? And this is very important because we take policy measures against the pandemic, and maybe we take them, but we have to take into consideration that we at the same time maybe generate collateral damages on other sides. And then we also want to look at the pre-existing conditions. So what are the outcomes of those who get infected based on their previous diseases? What are the diagnosis-related mortality rates? This goes also back to the collateral damage questions. And finally, we want to analyze what the pandemic impact is on mental health of children, adolescents, and adults. And you may have heard that we go into the direction that depressions are on the rise in Austria, and that we have mental problems caused by the pandemic. And these are kind of questions that we want to analyze empirically.
So now you have heard about two projects that are from these two areas, the business analytics and the economic analytics side. And now we would like to talk a bit more about the program. And in fact, this program comes with a special mentoring program, such that if you start at JKU, everything may be all new to you because you have not been studying here before. Maybe you don't speak German when you start. So we decided to set up a mentoring program where each student who wants to be mentored, of course, will be assigned to either senior faculty members or to a senior, let's call it senior student. And in the meantime, there has also been a Facebook group built up by the students. And once you have joined the program, you are welcome to join the student Facebook group where students exchange on the program, and you can also find mentors there. If you have questions on the mentoring program or the Facebook group, then feel free to ask these questions afterwards to our two economic and business analytic student representatives today. Okay. Then a bit about the program structure. So you will start with Principles in Applied Economics, Digital Transformation and Technologies, where you get an introduction to econometrics. You will learn how to use the programming language Python, which is the data science and analytics language. So you need to know that in order to be ready for the job market afterwards. And once you have acquired the basics, then you can start up with the principles and analytic methods, which make up also another 24 ECTS. And then you have the choice between several areas of specialization or restricted electives, as we call them. At the moment, we have 5 or 6 if you want. So you have to choose 3 of them, and you can specialize in organization and markets, in financial economics, in digital economy and supply chain management, where you heard about this little project before, in health, where you already heard about the pandemic project. And then we have analytic methods 1 and 2. If you are very keen on the method side, then you can do 2 specializations in analytic methods, where you can choose from a large amount of different courses in the various fields of analytics. And then you also have 3 courses that you can choose from any curriculum at JKU. And then once you have done that, you're ready to start your master thesis. And this will come with a colloquium when you start, and then you will join us for the seminar, present your work, and then finish your master thesis, and then have a great job in the analytics field afterwards. And now there will be some administrative information, and here I hand over to Tanya for this part.
Thank you, Sophie. Yes, I will talk about administrative stuff. So if you decide to become a JKU student, what will be the first steps? So the first thing to do would be to create a JKU account. This could be done anytime, so this would just be important to be done before the official enrollment. We put the link in it. No, I will try it later to put it in the chat. So once you have created the JKU account, you can go further for the enrollment. Here you would have to respect a certain deadline. We have 2 deadlines for the simple fact that if you are not an European Economic Area citizen, so this would mean European Union plus Iceland, Norway and Liechtenstein, that the procedure of admission lasts or takes several months. So it's important to start the enrollment very soon. So from February to the end of April. If you are an European Economic Area citizen, it would be soon enough to start in July, and you can start the enrollment until September. Then once you got the admission letter, you can sign up for classes. This will be in September and courses begin in October. So all these informations concern the winter semester. You can also start in the summer semester, but it's recommended to start in the winter semester as certain courses require other courses, and it's easier to follow the recommended study plan if you begin in the winter semester. So what are the formal requirements for the enrollment for economic and business analytics? On the one hand, you would have to provide English language proficiency on the level B2. Sufficient English language proficiency would also be the Austrian Matura or the German Abitur. Or if you have completed a bachelor's or diploma degree in English, this would also count as a B2 English language proficiency. On the other hand, you would have to provide a successful completion of a bachelor's or diploma degree program with a minimum of 12 credits in economics, 12 credits in business administration, and 6 credits in mathematics or statistics. The minimum would be 6 credits in one of those 3 areas, and you could complete the missing credits with supplementary courses. So those are the most important informations about enrollment and requirements. if you have more questions, don't hesitate to come up to me again via email or phone. And now we have time for your questions already.
So thank you for listening, and I hope you got an overview of the program, and now feel free to ask or pose any questions you may have.
If you do not feel comfortable in asking questions in English, you could also ask them in German, of course.
So we already have 2 questions. The first question is if the application process for this program for the winter semester 21-22 has already started.
Yes, in February it started for the non-European Economic Area citizens, and for the others it would start in July. But you can already create your JKU account, for example.
The second question is if it matters if the bachelor is a Bachelor of Arts or a Bachelor of Science.
It doesn't matter, it's just important to have completed the credits in economics, in business administration, and in mathematics or statistics.
Any further questions?
Yes, the further question is when is it expected? There are several questions. The administration letter. Yeah, if you are not an European economic citizen, it will take several months, so up to 6 months. And if you're already a JKU student, for example, it's very fast, so 1 month, for example, but it depends on the amount of applications in the admissions office.
Well, maybe I try to answer the question about courses in October. To be honest, we do not know whether we will have courses on campus right now. I mean, there is different strategies now, testing strategies, and the universities thinking about having small courses on campus with the measures that are then necessary. But it is too early right now to say something definite about the presence in October. This is a private personal opinion. I do not think that we will have big lectures in October, but do not take it for granted.
So the next question concerns also the admission decisions. So it depends on when you have sent your enrollment, but it takes always several months. So don't panic. I know it's very long time to wait sometimes, but if you have respected the deadline, you will get the decision letter before the program starts.
And also if there are any problems with the enrollment and it takes longer than expected, then please contact us. Usually we can arrange things that you can already participate in the lectures before you have the final admission ready. So if it takes really long, because it also depends a lot on how many international students apply, and this will be decisive for the length of the enrollment process or the document check and so on. So it may take longer if there are very many international students at the administration office. And then if it's not concluded before the course starts, you can always get in touch with us, and we try to make the material available to you before you have the official letter in hand.
Another question is on the expected number of students in the courses. This differs, of course, but I can tell you in general, we have nice group sizes. So there is, in particular, the courses in the restricted electives, sometimes only 10 people in a course, and then there are courses with 20 or 25, but we don't have these huge classes in this master program.
So maybe the introductory courses, there may be, in the lecture courses, there may be a bit larger groups. So we had around 50 students starting this fall. And let's see what the next fall group will look like. But potentially, I would say it's around 50, maybe a bit more. And then you may be all in one class sometimes, but usually you will be split in smaller groups.
Then there was another administrative question. Does the bachelor's degree have to be completed already to enroll for the master? Yes, you will have to have the bachelor's degree completed.
Unless you are a jku student, then you can already start taking master courses before you have completed the bachelor program.
Yes. Then, so if we enroll before the deadline in September as an EU citizen, we can still get in all our courses? Yes, this should work.
Lara is asking the question, yes, you can start the program in the summer semester, but the program is, so to say, organized in the standard variant to start in fall, but it is of course possible. But then maybe not all the appropriate courses are then offered in summer. So then maybe you must postpone one or another course for a semester. But in general, the answer is a clear yes.
Yes, it's clearly yes. And if you're not sure with which course to begin, you can contact us and contact me, for example. I could give you some advice which courses are recommended at the beginning, also in the summer semester.
Okay, there's another question on when the classes take place. So the master program is not designed to be very convenient for working students. Classes are usually during the day with a few exceptions. So you have to expect that you have to have time during the day in order to participate in the master program.
One side comment to that, maybe the pandemic would not only change the healthcare system, but maybe also a bit the university system. So right now we cannot say in detail whether we will have more online courses in the future and things like that. But my, again, private opinion and private expectation would be that we are gonna have more of this sort of courses in the future, maybe.
And there was a question, if I'm an EU citizen and I have never studied in Austria before, what would the costs be for the university? So it would be just the student union fee, 20 euros, within the 6 semesters. Then it's 365, I think. If my if my bachelor program will be completed in August or September, I'm not sure when will be my last exam. Can I still enroll the program for winter semester? Yes, in this case, and I didn't mention it, there's also a thing like a grace period. So it's until November 4th. And you can I would recommend to already send your documents and hand it in later, the missing documents.
So maybe this is a student-related question a little bit. Even if the learning is conducted online, can we still move to Linz and live in a student accommodation? I think this is a personal decision. You can always move to Linz if there are no travel bans in place by any of the countries you have to travel through, or you want to leave, or if you want to enter Austria, and if there are restrictions in place because of the pandemic, then of course this is outside of our control. But usually you can of course move to Linz to start studying, even if you do the courses online.
Franziska is the perfect example for this type of student. Maybe she would like to add 1 or 2 sentences.
Yes, you can, of course, live in a student dormitory. I think it's currently very easy to get a room if you are searching for one. I think the possibilities are quite varying depending on what you want. And there are multiple in walking distance to the university. And I think they're all nice places to be and to meet others and to get to know other people. And I would recommend it.
There is one question to the health economist. What is the corona situation in Upper Austria? I would say it's, as always, if it comes to health questions, quite representative for the whole country. So we are on average between the west and the eastern part of our country. So the 7 days incidence in the city of Linz actually is 150, which is a bit below the average of Austria. But things change from day to day, of course.
There are many testing opportunities to get one of these nose tips, Q-tips tests, so you can stay safe here.
Yeah, and this is important what Franziska was saying. We have also testing opportunities now at the university, and the university still plans to expand these opportunities in the next months.
And the testing is free of charge also.
There is another question regarding how many hours per week should be blocked for university when somebody is working part-time. So in fact, maybe this is also a student question, but maybe I can start with answering. So there's no limit when you have to finish your studies. So basically it's in your own hands how many hours you block. You may start with only 2 courses in the first semester and then 2 courses in the next, and then study for a long time, or you try to block more time and then study for a shorter time. But maybe Martin or Franziska want to add something to this from their experience.
It really depends on how you plan to finish your studies, how long time you want to spend, and you are very free how to create this.
Yes, I think that the 25 hours workload per credit point given is quite, yes, it matches the course load pretty well, I would say. So if you want to invest 20 hours for work and 20 hours for your degree, you should maybe go for 15 ACDS. And yes, that's what I would recommend. I did a full load of 30 ECTS, and I wouldn't recommend working more than 10 hours, but of course, only if you can afford it.
But I think most students work part-time during the studies, especially in Linz.
I think there are a lot of opportunities because we are surrounded by the industry. So this is also a good thing because usually you can already start to work during your studies, and especially people with analytical skills are highly sought after because the companies want to understand their data and use it more. So there will be for sure opportunities, but then you have to decide how much time you want to spend on working, how much time on studying. And sometimes it's a good decision to spend a bit more on studying first and then to go for more working afterwards.
This is also very important, the question that was just raised now, because we also plan and welcome cooperation with firms and institutions. So if there is a firm that offers data, for example, so you could use them maybe in your master thesis and so on and so forth. So we want to also extend these opportunities. And another question that I would like to answer briefly is, yes, if you have particular courses from the bachelor's studies that are mandatory in what we call the bridging semester, which is the first one, then you can substitute them with other courses, of course.
Was another question about enrollment. So I'm not EU citizen. I will finish my bachelor in June, but I want to start master in October. What documents I need to start the whole procedure? I just put link into the chat. There is a list of, with all the documents required. So for example, passport, and there's another form to fill in. Please look at the page, and if you have another questions, contact me and I will help you out.
Regarding the German classes, there are German classes offered as well as multiple other language classes, but they are not free of charge for everybody. So I think if you're a refugee status student, you can attend the German classes for free. But if you are like a European citizen and you want to visit a German class, you may have to pay, I think, 15 euros per credit of the course worth, but they are offered here, and yes.
Another question? Yeah.
Sophie, you want to?
No, you can go ahead.
If I already did some courses in my bachelor program, are there courses to do instead? In fact, yes. It depends on which courses you already completed. But for example, there is a principle where we have some other courses on the side. And if you have already completed other courses in the principle, you can do those instead. So there's on the website, on the JKU program website, Economic and Business Analytics, you will find a page with all the program details. And here are listed all the courses from the principles, from the restricted electives, and also the courses that you can do instead.
And I think there was a question if it was necessary to have a numerus clausus, and it's not, I think.
No, we don't have the numerus clausus system in Austria.
If an applicant holds CGPA around 2.5 on, I don't know, Sophie or Gerald, you know what?
No, I don't.
Would be the answer?
Unfortunately not. Could you please explain it to us?
I think this is a great scale of the previous bachelor's degrees, and we don't have like a specific level or grade level that you need to achieve to apply for the master's. So you just need to finish the bachelor, and then you can apply regardless of the grades you got in the past bachelor.
Yes, right. They are really, the courses that you have completed are very important. So are there courses in economics, are there courses in business administration or mathematics and statistics? So if you want to know if you're eligible, please send me your transcripts and we can have a look on it.
There's another question concerning the maximum number of students. So there's no upper limit at the moment. The groups have not been so large that we had to introduce a limit yet. So at the moment, we can take everyone who applies and who fulfills the criteria for application. However, this could change at some point. Okay. Since I do not see any other questions, oh yeah, there is one. I think verification of documents is necessary at the time of submission. But Tanya may know more about that.
The university, if your university sends your documents directly to us, to the admissions office, it's fine. But if you send the documents, they would have to be apostilled before.
Okay. If this was the last question, then I thank everyone for joining. I hope to see some of you in class in fall. I'm going to teach the operations research class, so maybe I will see you again. And Gerald is going to also teach some of the classes in the beginning, so hopefully see you again. If you have questions, you can always get in touch with us. Tanya knows everything about the administrative process or can find it out. And if you start the program, then please get in touch with Martin or Franziska via, for example, the Facebook group to have some student connection, even if the courses are still potentially online, that you can take part in the student community. Okay, so thanks a lot and hopefully see you again.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for attending.
I think we can stop recording now.